Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Colby from Sanitarian Productions. We're back again with another G.I. Joe action figure review. In this episode, we're taking a look at the GIJoeClub.com exclusive figure subscription service Wave 8 Figure 8. Figure 8. This is Overkill. So this guy is the bat leader for the Cobra Forces. It's a pretty cool figure, or character, I should say. It came out originally, I think, in the G.I. Joe versus Cobra line in the 2004-ish iteration. At least that's the first time I remember seeing the character. It was pretty cool, and we finally get an updated modern version of the character. Comes, like all the rest of these figure subscription service cards, on a very awesome card back here. We have the nice character art on the side. Cool bubble here for the figure itself. Flipping it over to the back, we have the enlarged character art there, along with the actual file card itself. Let's go ahead and see if this will focus for us. Y'all can pause it right now and take a look at the actual file card there. But very cool. Again, figure 8 from Wave 8. So, very nice looking figure. But let's go ahead and open this guy up. Handy dandy X-Acto knife. Slicing this little bubble open. So, I am not all that familiar with the character. Again, I do remember him from the G.I. Joe versus Cobra line from, 2004 or something like that. I was not really paying a whole lot of attention to the G.I. Joe world at that time, so this is one that kind of passed me by. Slide that over here to the side for right now. We do have the file card here, which, unlike some of the previous ones for Wave 8, we actually get a little insert here for that. Figure stand, which is kind of cool, but I don't know why they didn't do more of these, but I guess it really wasn't needed for most figures. Just curious as to why they actually included it with this one. But some of the accessories here are taped in, so we're going to go ahead and slice the tape open, make it a little easier to get these things out. And slice this thing open right here. We'll go ahead and pull the figure out first here. Looks pretty nice. Again, we'll zoom in here in a moment and take a closer look. We got this cool red pistol thing here as an accessory. That tape just came right off, huh? We have another cool hand cannon looking thing here, so that's pretty nice. And we get these two glove claw things, which are very cool looking, so looking forward to catching those guys up close here in a moment. But two of those. So that's all the accessories we get, but about average for this particular wave. So let's go ahead and zoom in right here and start taking a closer look. So bear with me a moment while I adjust the camera. This thing doesn't quite flex as easily as my old setup did, but it's not too bad right there. Does have a tendency to get a little bit off center. Off axis, I guess you might say. There we are. So we'll start out with the actual figure stand itself. Traditional 25th anniversary Cobra figure stand here. Nice raised Cobra logo there. 2 foot pegs. Codename Overkill on the front, standard 2007 copyright on the back. Standard battle stand, so nothing too special, but nothing, it's just nothing. They're cool to have, I really like them. First accessory we're going to look at is the actual red little pistol thing here. Not a lot of detail work on this thing, but still an interesting little weapon here. Not a whole lot going on with that, but still pretty cool. We get this really awesome hand cannon, I guess is the best thing to say here. Some very interesting detail work on it. You can see on the top here we have the extended hand hold thing along with the actual pistol grip. It's interesting to note that they made this out of that weird plastic that's kind of hollow inside, so you can see the gap there. It's pretty flexible as well, kind of bendy. Not really a big fan of that, but I don't know if they were trying to cut cost on this thing or what, but it's still a really cool looking cannon thing. That's really the best I can call it, is just a cannon thing. Pretty nice though. We also get 2 of these really cool looking claws. These things are really awesome, to be honest with you. Some really amazing details. They are essentially made as gloves to fit over his existing hands, and we'll look at that here in just a second here, but some really cool details. It puts me in mind of the gauntlets from the ring race from the Lord of the Rings figure. So here's the second one here. Again, some really awesome looking details. Very nice looking. So the way these things work is basically you just kind of fit them over top of his existing hand like that. And he's got that cool gauntlet hand. Very nice. It's a really good way to kind of keep that cool aesthetic going. With the figures being as small as they are, having interchangeable hands is not really an option. So these kind of glove things that fit over top of their hands is a great alternative, and I'm really glad to see that from this company here. So very cool looking. That's pretty much all the accessories we get. Everything else is just the figure itself. We don't have anything like hidden away or anything. I guess his wrist gauntlet thing here might be considered an accessory, but we're not really going to consider it that way. He does have a nope, it is removable. So you have a removable helmet here, which is pretty cool. You got the nice silver Cobra logo there on the top. Beyond that, it's really just a standard helmet. So the interesting thing about this figure, so he is a battle android trooper. He's supposed to be the kind of leader. I'm going to pop his head off here to take a little bit of a closer look here. So you've got a really cool looking head sculpt here. But the interesting thing is that underneath you actually have this awesome battle android trooper skull head thing. So this is really awesome. It's kind of a neat little thing that you have the mask that can go on there. And he appears at that point to be human, which is misleading to say the least. And his little scarf thing there kind of just helps to hide that fact there. We can get it to focus here. So it does a really good job of that cool little thing. You would never really know there was a cool looking skull underneath that. So unless you take the helmet off, and then which you can see that. But you can also take some of the other like masks that came with Zartan and swap them out here with this guy. It's a really kind of cool feature, and I'm really digging it. Beyond that, some really cool sculpting details every which way. Got this cool, I don't know what you call this thing, but this chest piece, this very nice details. Anyways, you can see the cool buckles there, all these folds everywhere. Some really cool shoulder armor, these shoulder pauldrons. Lots of pouches. Very cool detail work on his armor here. Again, he's a battle android trooper, so it's does a good job of kind of replicating some of that almost RoboCop looking Actually, this is a pretty good copy of RoboCop. So if you have extra ones of these, you could probably paint this guy up and make a really cool custom. Let's take a look at this cool gauntlet though. So you've got this really cool stuff going on here. You've got blasters and rocket launcher thing and all sorts of really cool stuff there. If you do pop his hand off, that is removable, but for the most part it just kind of stays on there. So very awesome looking. Very, very cool. The head does spin 360 degrees, although it's a little bit limited by his little handkerchief thing here. But you can see it will twist all the way around. You got to be careful not to knock his mask off when you're doing that. Does have some up and down motion and a little bit of head tilt, so very cool. And it's pretty easy to kind of push that handkerchief thing back into place to get it to line up the way you want it to. And the helmet, you can just kind of slide back on there however you need to. Standard ball and swivel at the shoulder joints. His shoulder armor there does limit his upward motion there. Not too bad, but just be aware that it's there. Do have a standard ball and swivel at the elbow joint. Swivel and also I thought it was a rocker here, but it looks like it's actually just the swivel joint there for his hand. So we do have the standard chest twist feature there. Plenty of ab crunch motion also. Very nice. His web gear doesn't inhibit him whatsoever. Standard T-hooks at the waist. This one's a little sticky, so it doesn't quite go out as far as it normally would, but front and back motion is fine. We have a double knee joint there and a standard swivel and rocker at the ankle joint. So all in all, very nice looking. This guy looks a lot better than I was actually expecting, to be very honest with you. When I first saw him in the package, I wasn't really expecting a whole lot. But now that he's actually free and I've got my hands on it, I'm really liking this guy, especially with these cool gauntlet things. The only real drawback here is that he can't really carry every weapon he has at the same time. The gauntlets fit on there pretty well, and I guess technically you can still kind of get his gun in his hand at the same time. It just looks a little weird with the gauntlet and the cannon in his hand. Same thing for this other side if you were to put his other pistol in there. It just looks a little ungainly. So, but I guess technically he can carry all his weapons. So, yeah, I guess I'll have to take that back. But there we go. That is Overkill. A very cool addition to the G.I. Joe modern era. I'm really liking this guy. So. That's all the time we've got for today, so thanks for watching. Drop some comments down below. Let us know what you think of Overkill. If you'd like to see any specific figures in the near future, drop me a comment as well. I'll see what I can do to get it out in front of y'all. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We have usually about 3 videos per week coming out. Sometimes more, sometimes less, but usually it's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays usually. Generally, I do the G.I. Joe stuff on Sundays, so just put that on the calendar if you're interested. There is a little notification icon there. If you subscribe, it'll tell you when these new videos get posted, and you'll be one of the first ones to get to see it. So, anyways, till next time, Yo Joe!